Hi everyone, Caroline here. Do crystals keep you awake at night? Do crystals prevent you from sleeping at night? Please let me know in the comment section if they do, because in this video, I have some good news for you if that's what happens to you. And I'm also going to tell you what it may mean if crystals keep you awake at night. You know what's interesting? Personally, for me, I sleep with over 40 crystals under my pillow. And I'm surrounded by many crystals around my bed, and crystals are basically everywhere. And yet, in spite of all this beautiful crystal energy around me, I always sleep like a baby. I have always slept like a baby. And maybe it's because I've always been one who dreams. I've always expected to dream at night. So sleep comes very naturally for me because it's always been that process of expectation from my end. I mean, that's how I think about it. I've always known that dreams are so important to me, and I've always had an expectation that every time I fall asleep, that a dream would come to me. And that dream to me would be like the voice of God, which is really the voice of God that speaks to me and gives me information from that other reality. So sleep has always been a very natural consequence for me. And seriously, when I look at my life, there has been such interesting life transforming information that has come through for me through the dreamscape that I truly, truly feel for those who are working with crystals and who can't sleep at night, because maybe they're missing something, maybe they're not, but maybe they're missing something, because it has just been such an absolute pleasure for me to work with crystals, at least to kind of amplify the energy of the dreams that I've had. So in this video, I want to share with you a very interesting perspective that can help you look at these crystals that keep you awake from a very different angle. And it's so cool. Just keep listening. Okay, we all know that there are so many reasons for insomnia. There are so many reasons for sleeplessness. There are so many reasons why we stay awake at night. For example, people stay awake because of anxiety, because of fear, because of external noise or distractions or some kind of discomfort. Maybe you're feeling too full, or maybe you're too tired, or you're just too wired, or whatever. Sometimes people don't sleep because they're thinking too much, or there's just too much emotions and whatnot going on around in their heads. Things can get really crazy. And to get to that space where you're calm and peaceful enough to fall asleep can be a tough call for some people on some nights or some days, hopefully not weeks, but it can sometimes be really, really hard for some people to fall asleep. So I hear you. But let me just say this. If you are working with crystals on a much higher level, on a much deeper level of consciousness, for healing or transformation or for growth and evolution of your being, it's very important to know that these crystal beings that we have are teachers of higher consciousness and evolution. Crystal beings are high level types of teachers. As crystal lovers, or for those of us who are called to work with these crystals, we must never forget that these crystals are our teachers. These beautiful, loving crystal beings are here to support us, and that is why we are drawn to them. We must never lose sight of that fact, okay? All right, with that in mind, if you are working with crystals, how you feel, how you react, how you respond to these crystals is very important information that is coming through for you and to you. It's information that's revealing something to you about what's going on with you, or about something that you need to pay attention to, or about something that you need to know or you need to resolve in order for you to grow and evolve in your life. So if you're working with crystals or you are using crystals and you notice that those specific crystals are keeping you awake, it's probably drawing your attention to the fact that you are now an awakened being. Listen to me very carefully. Crystals are teachers. If a crystal is keeping you awake, another way to look at this, another way to notice the underlying message behind this, is that a crystal that keeps you awake is probably drawing your attention to the fact that you are now an awakened being, or it is calling you to pay attention to the fact that it's time for you to wake up. It's not sleeping time. You're not allowed to sleep anymore because this is a code. This is an activation. This is a trigger. Wake up, wake up. So those who work with crystals and those who notice that they can't sleep when they're working with some specific crystals need to pay attention to the fact that the crystal may just be calling you, triggering you, activating you, and asking you to wake up. Wake up. It's time to wake up. You are an awakened being. Okay? Wake up. Crystal lovers and awakened beings. There are certain codes that we have programmed within us. Those codes remind us of who we are. They are codes that help us remember who we are. So when we incarnated in this lifetime at this particular time, we kind of all came up with some specific codes and reminders that would help us wake up. Some people wake up when they see the number 1111. Some people wake up when they see certain geometric shapes and codes. Some people wake up when they see certain numbers. Some people wake up when they hear certain messages from some specific individuals. And then some people also wake up when they get access to certain energy healing modalities that moves the energy in a certain way in their lives, and they wake up. There are many ways and many reminders that we have within our energetic codes that help us wake up. So what is yours? Maybe that crystal that keeps you awake is that code. So just pay attention. It's just so cool how everything is happening for us, right? So crystals that keep us awake have a good purpose. There's an underlying purpose, and this requires an understanding of consciousness, an understanding of working with crystal energy, and an understanding of who you are. We're just not these regular people that we see in physical 3D earth. There's much more power to us. We are awakened beings, and we are all here for a purpose. Believe it or not, if you haven't started to shine your light yet, remember that there's an ultimate goal in all this, and that goal is to remember who we are, to wake up. It's a beautiful life on the other side of things, even though it might not look like it on 3D. But as we evolve and we begin to work on that higher level, I'm telling you, life is just something else. It really is. And just to mention it again, if you are one of those beings who are woken up by crystals, please leave me a comment and identify yourself. I'd just like to know who you are, because I know it's time for you to wake up. Okay? All right. The other thing I wanted to mention about this is if you're working with a specific crystal, for example, if you're working with clear quartz crystal, and clear quartz crystal is keeping you awake at night, you might want to look at it from the perspective that it's waking you up to something, and because it's clear quartz, it wants to make it really clear to you, really evident to you that you have to wake up to something or to a situation in your life. So pay attention to these types of things. What is it in your life that needs clarity, that clear quartz crystal is waking you up to? Think about it like that. And then work through that thing, and then resolve it, acknowledge it, work through it, and boom. You'll be sleeping in no time in the physical realm, but awake to the fact that something is now very clear in your life. It's very important to know the qualities of the crystals that you're working with. If you're working with an amethyst, amethyst is generally a crystal that really elevates higher. It's a higher consciousness crystal. It wakes most of us up. It's a very psychic crystal. So when you're working with a crystal like amethyst and you're sleeping with it and you're awake, it's probably waking you up to some of these qualities, these spiritual qualities, these aspects of yourself. It wants you to pay attention. So just don't throw the crystal away and say, oh my God, you know, I can't sleep at night when I'm working with amethyst. As a person who works with crystals, you gotta understand how the crystal speaks to you, how the crystals talk to you, okay? What the message is that is behind the energy of the crystals coming through. It makes it so much more worthwhile. Remember, we have these spiritual tools for a purpose, and we must understand the purpose. Otherwise, what does it mean? We just got to know how to work with our spiritual tools. If you're working with a crystal like rose quartz and it's keeping you up at night, pay attention. What is it asking you to wake up to as regards the energies of the heart chakra? Because rose quartz is a very loving energy. It's an energy that expands our heart chakras, opens up our heart chakras, you know, infuses some kind of dynamic that changes the way you receive and the way you give, and issues around the heart. What is it asking you to wake up to? What information is coming through for you? So think about these things in that concept. And then you'll notice that you're really beginning to enjoy working with these crystals because you have received the message, you have integrated the message, and then whatever issues that you feel on the external, like sleeplessness, will no longer be an issue for you. It's just as simple as that. And it's just so cool. When you're working with crystals, there is always a method to the madness. And it's beautiful, right? I know many of you crystal lovers know what I'm talking about, right? You do, yeah? And I love it. It's just such a beautiful thing. So what can I say? While sleeplessness on the surface of it may seem like an inconvenience, from a higher perspective, it's just such a gift to us. And it's something that can be very temporary once we begin to see things from the eyes of higher consciousness. And sleeplessness will be gone just like that. Okay, do crystals keep you up at night? Let me know. And don't forget to email me at caroline@crystalstock.com. I offer personal one-on-one consultations about how to work with your spiritual tools. And in the meantime, sleep tight. Why? Because you're already awake. Because the message of awakening is here for you. And crystals are the teachers that are showing you the way. All right? See you next time, guys. I love you.